Hello traders, welcome to today's Bitcoin and cryptocurrency update. I'm going to make this a very short video today because, to be honest, there hasn't been a whole lot happening in the market over the past couple of weeks. It's just been rotating between the highs and the lows of this range that we've been in since we had the big drop and obviously the whole lunar scenario and the big crash across the market 2 weeks ago. So yeah, been very simple trading since then, like really just high, low, highs, lows within the same range, value area highs, value area lows being very well respected, high time frame levels being very well respected. And you're literally just taking maybe one trade a day, just the opposite side, which is how it's been. So you go short one day, long the next, short one day, long the next. And it just has been continuing on from that for quite a while with very, decent results from that. So I do want to go over, of course, a little bit more about this range. Obviously, the longer that this goes on, the closer we do come to some kind of resolution from this. The volatility is starting to drop off enough that maybe we could see something in the next few days. I'm not really expecting a move today. However, we are seeing a little bit of strength from the legacy markets and, of course, DXY dropping off, which is what we were looking at last week. I did say that DXY has potentially put in a fairly macro high, at least for on the weekly, monthly chart kind of thing. And we could be seeing that bringing a little bit of risk back into the markets, a little bit of life back into the markets, which could give for some better trading, I guess, next month, because we are coming into the end of May right now. So yeah, and of course, I hope everyone had a good weekend because it is a Monday. Yeah, let's get into it. So this little range that we've been in, I mean, it's actually quite a big range. We're looking at percentages here between basically your lows and your highs of, where are we? Yeah, you're up to about 10%, but that has come down now. We're looking at those like 6% moves now. And I do think that this, at the moment, being back up at the value area high of this range is looking like a reasonable opportunity for short positions, okay? So we have had a couple of fairly decent trades so far today already. The last time I updated on this would have been around about when I did the morning update, and we were looking at there was the potential potential for the 80% setup earlier on this morning, as we could see that price was being held below VWAP, and it was also being held below the previous day value area, okay, or being held within previous day value area. So that did set us up for a potential move to the downside. But of course, we then, as the London session opened, or just a little bit before the London session opened, we got a nice little injection of volume coming up, breaking above this previous high, continuing on with this little uptrend we've been in, and then a nice back test of a VWAP, weekly open, daily level, and you had some fib confluence with that as well. So a nice little opportunity to get in on a nice little scalp, small little day trade. Long position a little bit earlier on, but obviously this is the value area high of the whole range, and it has to be considered as resistance for now. So I am also, having taken just a little long position earlier on, I am in a short position, and I am seeing this as more of a deviation if we do go back onto the range as a whole. Within this little bit here being more of a deviation, unless we see some volume coming in, unless we see legacy markets really show a bit of strength today. In which case, then I would be looking for a target up towards this weekly level of 31273.5, there or thereabouts. Okay, so if we do just zoom out a little bit more, you can see also at the top there, that is where we do have that nice little 4-hour, not block, but there's a 4-hour level. It's the weekly level. And that was the day that we just had weekly open and just straight down. So been recovering that. It would be nice to put in a little bit of a range up here. If it can break through and start to hold a range above this region, holding above value area high, then I do think that that could set us up for higher targets and a potential breakout or fake out from this range. But again, still trading it as a range, fairly narrow value area at this point, and still trading this as a deviation with short positions being fairly high probability at this stage. Although we are in an uptrend, so you do have to be aware of that. Other than that, on this chart, there's not really a whole lot to update on. Other than, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it, okay? It's just the standard kind of trades. You're just taking trades off of the VWAPs, you're taking trades off of the range value areas, you're taking trades off of the high time frame levels. And it's been, yeah, really quite straightforward. It's just been working very nicely. So the other stuff I did want to go over just quickly today was the S&P 500. Okay, and this is a bit more of a macro view. We're just going to very briefly touch upon this. But of course, this is, again, is what we've been talking about for a while. Reminder for everyone that we have come into the macro 382 from the COVID crash low up to our all-time highs. So we are into that 382 and we are into this little monthly order block level here. So if we do zoom in a little bit more, you can see just how nicely it just bounced off right off of that monthly level. Got a good little bounce off of this, off of that 382. And yeah, that again, like what we were looking at as potential move more to the downside after it came through that 1-to-1. This was the next level in mind, and that's what we've hit today. So that, or well, yesterday, over the last week on Friday, whatever day it was, whatever day this was, hit it on the 20th, Friday, of course, because these are closed over the weekend. But yeah, that coming into a fairly important macro level here on the S&P 500. And of course, we do also have these divergences that have started to build here. So on the daily, if you're looking at your RSI, you do have that daily divergence at the lows. And I believe you've got 4 hour as well. So you are seeing those divergences on the RSI. And if you go in even more, you can see quite a nice recovery there, just taking out the low, immediately finding acceptance back inside. And it would seem as if this is going to have a little bit of a rally over the course of the week. Although, again, you've got to be aware, this is quite a relentless downtrend and you would not want to be getting too exposed into positions, especially as we have already had a bounce. And as we have seen in the past, every time that it's had a decent bounce like this and has come back into a previous range, it's just rolled over, had a decent bounce, just rolled over. So again, here you do have to be aware that there is the possibility that this could continue to roll over like that, but it's looking okay. Of course, with where the DXY is, then it is looking like this is potentially finding a bit more of a low than at any point that we could have seen in the past few weeks. So just bringing it on to the DXY, this is the last little chart I do want to show right now. And if we just go onto the weekly time frame here, you can see when we got this breakout a few weeks ago above these previous highs, this is a weekly level, a weekly candle close that we had from all the way back in COVID crash 2020. Okay, so this was the COVID crash high for the dollar index, the DXY, and we are coming back in towards that level now after having topped out. And this is what we were again talking about last week, saying that I do believe that had very high potential to be a macro high on the DXY. It basically looks very, very similar to what Bitcoin did at all-time highs, where it was just like, oh, and it just completely failed and rolled back into its previous range and now is falling apart. So that is coming into macro support down here. You do also have to be aware of these order blocks and various other little bits on the chart. But again, I would be aware that this as a pullback is potentially coming into a region of support, which could, like, I do think that we again have found a bit of a high on the DXY, but that could bring a bit of a slowdown across the markets in general. So yeah, it's just, those are the three main charts I really wanted to show today. I remain very, very neutral on the charts, and I remain just trading it as completely just respecting the levels that we find, just respecting the technicals on there, and not holding trades. Basically, as soon as a trade has kind of reached a target at the moment, I'm just closing out those trades. I'm waiting for the next opportunity. And that is how it's been for quite a while, because until we do see some volume come into this market, until we do see that volatility start to pick up again, obviously that was a very big move down that we did have the other week. And of course, with legacy markets, with the S&P 500, they had their big move down, potential capitulation kind of move last week as well. So we are looking at a period where just stabilization within the market. I do think that this range comes to a conclusion fairly soon, but we're still looking at 6% swings here, and it could get a lot more boring before we do get a big break. So yeah, that's basically it for me. I mean, If I'm looking for shorts here, then the targets for those are quite obvious. You're looking back down towards your value area low, because so far every time you've been able to take shorts from value area high, it has come all the way back down into value area low and quite often exceeded that. Okay, so that would be the obvious target to the downside, is you're looking back down to the value area low of the range. Of course, you do have this daily level on here. So if we do just go on to this is the closest untapped daily, but realistically, that was just like that daily level. But also we do have the daily level down here at 29151.5. I basically may as well just have them both on my chart, and that again fairly close again to those value area low regions down at the low of the range here. Then if we are to get that move up, which I think is a little bit less likely at this stage, of course, with S&P 500 having had a bounce, with the Nasdaq having had a bounce, with the very strong probability that the actual markets, New York markets, are going to gap up today, and with DXY coming into support, I do think that it's a little bit more likely that we do see a bit more of a pullback. But if we are going to get a move up, then it is just basically this weekly level up here that is my next main target. So we could, of course, take out these highs. We could be looking up towards these highs, take those out, look at a lower little SFP of the highs, and then fall back into the range again. That is a potential, but I do believe if we are going to see a break through the value area high, then that would need volume, and that would likely be enough to push us up towards these higher targets as well. So yeah, again, I mean, everything I've kind of said in this video is like, might go up, might go down. It's very, very, very neutral from a perspective of bias, but you just have to take it as, you know, the levels that you want to trade. If the price comes into those levels, then you know the trade that you want to take. So it doesn't matter about directional bias. It doesn't matter if price goes up, if price goes down. It's going to give us some nice trades to have. So yeah, I am going to wrap things up there. That is, pretty much everything I have to say on the chart. So I hope everyone has a very good week of trading. I will, of course, be... we'll do the trading room London Open tomorrow for the crew. And again, if anyone is new to this channel, please do go check out tauruscrypto.com. Okay, you can find out more about our community. We do have a free Discord community that you can go and view here. So you can click connect to join a free Discord community. You can also find out more about our crew by clicking on the discover down there. And you can learn a lot more about what we do within the crew membership and read some testimonials from our members. So please do hit the like button. Please do hit the subscribe button. Also check us out on Twitter if you'd like to do that. But I am going to call it whatever on this video, and I'll see everyone very soon. Cheers, guys. Bye.